IFB Interfleet Broadcasting. You're not going to believe who we ran into. It's our first day at Comic-Con. Tipsy Toaster is behind the scenes doing his magic, and I'm up front, New York Pete. And I have with us someone that we've been dying to actually catch up to and interview. And he's going to bring us all up to speed on some of the current things that are going on. And it's a soft place in my heart since I used to be with the ECG myself, the 501st. And Chris, why don't you, holding up one of his cards. Chris, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing now, and we'll see about some of the history that you bring to sci-fi and the, and the presence and the fandom. We're going to get into that as well, maybe at a different show, but we definitely want to find out what you're up to now. So, Chris, tell us, what have you been up to? Because you're big in the industry as far as I'm concerned in terms of fandom. So hold up the mic just a little bit more because I'm mic'd up, and give us a little bit about what you're doing.
Well, I'm Chris Feehan. I'm the commanding officer of the 501st Legion's Empire City Garrison. The 501st Legion is an international organization of Star Wars costumers who do bad guy Star Wars movie authentic costumes and use them in the community for charitable purposes and to help somehow in the community. We do charity walks, hospital visits, things of that nature. And the other mantra of the group is troopers helping troopers. Not only do we do this, but we also help others get their costumes to a professional level that they're as movie accurate as possible. So we do the charitable work with our finished costumes, and we help troopers get to that level where they can actually wear a movie authentic costume and do good in the community.
So, Chris, do you normally do comic book conventions? Do you do openings? Does Lucas actually get involved with any of this or not?
Well, we're very fortunate because of the nature of what we do. We do have special permission from Lucas that as long as we're not doing this for any profit, we can do it for good in the community, and they allow us to make some internal merchandise like these trading cards that you see here. A lot of the members of the group get trading cards made up when they get a new costume, and they hand them out to folks at different conventions and things. We do not charge for any of this material. This is all just paraphernalia that we give out. They also do occasionally ask us to do Lucasfilm promotional events. I myself have done a couple of commercials. I've been on Good Morning America and the Today Show, and they even sent me personally to Amman, Jordan for the opening of Rise of Skywalker, where I got to tour the set in the desert in my outfit and take photos. It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience, all for putting on a plastic costume. You know, it's just the opportunities that have been open to me. I think it's really karma. It's you keep doing good, you try to give back to the community, and good things come your way. And I think the 501st Legion is the antithesis of that for me.
What comes around goes around. But Chris, you also have a unique history in terms of fandom. You're also very, very big in Battlestar Galactica.
That's correct. Previously, back in the late 90s, I was very involved in the Battlestar Galactica community. The internet was really just forming at that point. There wasn't a lot of information. And I had gone to a convention, I think it was Icons, and saw Richard Hatch talking about his Second Coming trailer and showing little pieces of it. And I said, I really want this to happen. That show was so beloved to me as a child. I wanted to do whatever I could to try to make that a reality. So for the next few years, I was heavily involved in starting a website, collecting Battlestar Galactica materials, trying to reach out to different folks from the community to try to band them together. And we started something called the Battlestar Galactica Fan Club.com. I'm sorry, Battlestar Fan Club.com. I don't want to be confused with the other site that already existed that Michael used to run.
Yes.
But we wanted to start a purely fan-based fan site. And I started doing that, and I met another person named Sean O'Donnell who wanted to contribute. He had another website that we kind of combined forces.
Right.
And said, okay, we'll be co-presidents and we'll each bring, what we have to the table. He was a very good talker. He was a very good speaker, a very good interviewer. So we actually got some interviews with some the cast members and had them featured on our website. And we were in very close contact with Richard Hatch about the progress of his Second Coming project and trying to get that off the ground. So we had a mail-in campaign, we had letter writing campaigns. We worked tirelessly for about 3 years to try to bring back Battlestar Galactica. And to all the people that contributed to that, I think the networks and the people in Hollywood actually took notice and started saying, wait a minute, there's a lot of buzz about this property. Maybe we should get something going. And then, you as you well know, they started doing the Tom DeSanto project with Bryan Singer. I was floored when I actually got a phone call from Tom DeSanto telling us, because at first we were very apprehensive and we were like, we don't know what this is going to be. We don't know if we're going to like this. He called me personally and said, listen, Chris, I've read your website. I know what your guys' concerns are. We're fans ourselves. We're not going to let this be bastardized. We're going to make what you fans are looking for. We were so excited. I can't even describe to you. And I can go into more detail when we have a follow-up conversation.
Oh,
but
yes,
there was a lot of back and forth there, and we were just honored to be part of that conversation. And then as we all know, September 11th happened. The production was shut down and never really got back off the ground. It really was, it was a human tragedy what happened in September 11th, but it also cost us our beloved Battlestar Galactica as well.
Unfortunately, but there is hope. And, working now in the new mediums and, the digital age, there is hope, and fandom is still strong. And I'm glad we got a chance to meet up with Chris. This is big for IFB. It's big for the fandom. We definitely going to have you back, Chris. We're going to talk and reminisce. I've seen pictures of the cruises. I have pictures with you at Icon. Yeah. It's all great. It's still out there. This is fantastic. We love all the different franchises, but obviously we here at IFB Interfleet Broadcasting, we have a very, very special spot in our hearts for the original Battlestar Galactica with respect to all the franchises. But Chris, thank you so much for doing all of this stuff.
Let me just tell you a little bit more about what we're doing here.
Sure, please do.
After I left the fan club, I basically lost interest for reasons that revolve around the reboot. A lot of people embraced the reboot, loved it. I personally, knowing what could have been, I just couldn't accept the reboot. Knowing that we could have had the original cast back, we could have had a continuation.
Oh, that's something.
I would settle for nothing less. And the reboot, as good as it was for some people, it just didn't resonate with me. And I was just like, why am I spending so much time invested in this property when it's not going to go anywhere in a direction that I'm happy with?
Right.
I was also always a big Star Wars fan, got into the 501st, saw them at conventions when I was dressed up as a colonial warrior at Battlestar at sci-fi conventions. And I said, when I saw what they did and what they were doing with charity, I said, this is something I have to be involved with. This is something that I can get my geek on, construct something that's movie accurate, every boy's dream, having a stormtrooper costume,
sure,
and actually use it for good in the community. So I've been with them for 15 years. Over the years, had different responsibilities within the organization, and now I'm this commanding officer of the Empire City Garrison. And for instance, today we're raising money for Make-A-Wish. Just Thursday alone, we raised over $1,000 just letting kids shoot at us with Nerf darts. And having a raffle with items donated by our members. So it's very rewarding, it's very fulfilling, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Outstanding, Chris. Thanks so much for doing all that. We really appreciate it. And thanks for taking the time out. And we support all the different charities and obviously all the different, franchises that are out there. There's others that do things better than we do. Star Wars is, we're fans of Star Wars, but like you were saying, there's other groups that do this better in terms of the franchise than we do. So we tend to try to cover as much as we can, and you're a perfect example of how to do that, right? Battlestar Galactica is one thing, Star Wars is another thing. We're fans of it all. We love it. Chris, thanks for joining us. Chris is coming back, and we're going to talk more Galactica. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. IFB Interfleet Broadcasting, New York Pete here with Chris Feehan and the Tipsy Toaster pressing all the magic buttons. We'll see you soon, and keep watching, everybody.
Bye, guys.